What's going on, everybody? It's Ron Brown, LMT, the People's Fitness Professional. Mikey Fever will be on soon. However, we got the Grand Sheik, National Press Secretary of the MSTA, Sharif Anael Bey. Thank you guys for coming out tonight, watching us. Just to let you know, we just posted a video on Afro Latin spirituality, Santeria, right before going on this live, just as a little treat for you guys. So make sure you go on to videos and check that out. That was just posted. Right now, we're going to talk about reparations for African Americans. First off, I want to ask Sharif Anael Bey, are you opposed to reparations or for reparations?
Well, here's the long answer. Well, the short answer is absolutely. I'm absolutely not opposed to reparations, and that's me personally. Now, the longer answer is this: I'm a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I'm a student and a believer in, and a student of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I am as you said before, the National Press Secretary for the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated, under the leadership of Brother R. Jones Bey, and that's my leader, and his assistant, Brother A. Hopkins Bey, which is also my leader. I say that to say this: Prophet Noble Drew Ali was not against reparations. So how in the world can I be against reparations and be a student of that man? Mm-hmm. Now, just like utilization of, just like proper identification, what did Prophet Noble Drew Ali bring? He brought proper context to those things. So there's a proper context to reparations. Mm-hmm. And we'll get into that in a little more detail as you ask the question. So, but that there you go.
Okay. So what exactly did the prophet bring to make you say that he wasn't against reparations or for reparations?
Well, there's a number of quotes regarding the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, or attributed to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, that we can rely on as it relates to that. He said that the European is going to have to pay in compounded interest. Mm-hmm. Okay. What is that? That's financial reparations.
Okay. So, right. Okay. I get what you're saying. However, reparations in the way it's termed now in the 2000s it's now like a whole subject and has a life of its own right now. Mm-hmm. Now I understand what you're saying as far as the prophets, what you just quoted. However, reparations is now on the table. It's being discussed all around the United States.
Yes, it is.
People from the ADOS community and FBA community and freedmen community, African American community, if you will, all speak about reparations because we believe that there should be some payback, monetary payback for what happened during the slave times, being that our ancestors helped build this country. So,
Agreed.
Being that it's taken on its own life, in regards to reparations and that monetary payback, how do you see it now in this day and time, apart from what the prophet is quoted? I mean, what you quoted from the prophet.
Again, we salute, and I personally salute, and I'm not just saying that, I mean that sincerely. I salute, and the movement salutes, the efforts of Asiatics to organize. When I say Asiatics, we're talking about quote unquote Black people in America, right? Mm-hmm. We salute those efforts because it's a noble effort, right? Mm-hmm. If you're old, you're old, right? And in our teaching, we talk about not, I'm paraphrasing, you pay what you owe. Right is right. You pay what you owe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you owe, pay. There you go. So, agreed. So we honor the effort. Okay. We believe that the prophet's context, the prophet's, methodology, okay, is more comprehensive, is more inclusive, and more solid and salient. That's what we believe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure, of course.
Okay, so name those three again, just for the sake of recall. Comprehensive.
Inclusive.
Salient. Now, can you explain comprehensive?
Absolutely. Let's jump right into it. Comprehensive, just to be comprehensive as in well-rounded. It covers all bases. I'll be short with that one because we got a lot to get into. Covers more bases. And then, in fact, in our opinion, covers all bases. Inclusive, it doesn't leave anyone out. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Inclusive. This is a big one. It doesn't leave people out.
Now, let's talk about that. I want to go into that. So when you say inclusive, doesn't leave anyone out. Now, we're talking specifically about the descendants of slaves here in America.
Okay.
Right? Now,
are we?
Yeah, because if we're talking reparations and we're talking about reparations as it is talked about here in North America, it's synonymous with African Americans, if you will.
Here's my question. When did slavery begin in America?
I forgot the exact year.
So in Act 6 of the Divine Constitution and Bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America, right? Since these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. Why such a narrow time frame? Slavery existed before 1779, didn't it?
Okay.
So why would Prophet Noble Drew Ali say from 1779?
I don't know.
Because he's just talking about the United States of America. That's why.
Okay.
Is that inclusive as it relates to reparations for slavery? Is that comprehensive as it relates to reparations for slavery?
Well, to make it plain, right? Now, when we're talking about slavery, right, we're talking, African Americans aren't the only I would say nation of people, if you will, to be, afflicted by, slavery, right? There were also people from the Caribbean and stuff like that. Now, are you including people from the Caribbean in this?
Why not?
Because reparations is on the table based on African Americans. People from the Caribbean, they don't necessarily speak on this. This is a big issue here in North America.
You think it's not a big issue other places?
Maybe it is. However, it's the most vocal and loud in America, North America.
Right. All right. Wait a minute. You think so?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you have any other nations of people who spoke on this on reparations.
Brother Reef, what's going on? Peace, guys. Ron.
Peace.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. I'm listening.
So, I mean, do you have? I mean, if we be real about this, right? Reparations in North America for African Americans have been on the table for years. This has been a discussion had in many different circles for many years. As far as people from the Caribbean, I've never heard of any.
So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Real quick, and this relates, right? Why, in your opinion, or even Mikey too, or even the viewers or the viewers, why, in your opinion, have we not made any headway all this time?
I think that we've made headway because right now is like the talk of not only social media, but all over the place, in government and everywhere. So I feel like it's made headway. It's better than it was in the 80s. It's louder than it was in the 90s. It's
How long
like,
did it take for Japanese Americans to be remunerated for being incarcerated in concentration camps or internment camps during World War II?
it was, I mean, I wouldn't really compare the two.
Why not?
Because I would say reparations for African Americans, it's a more complicated issue.
I would agree. But that still doesn't answer. But your response to the question doesn't really address the question. It is more. I agree 100%. It's way more.
Yeah.
Expansive.
So that's why that's what answers the question, because that's the reason it's.
Well, we're just talking about America. To your point, we're just talking about America. So what makes your idea, your parameters, which is just America, what makes it more expansive or different than the Japanese Americans?
Because the Japanese Americans didn't go through a period of slavery as long, and also the Japanese weren't responsible for building the American economy.
Okay, so what you're talking about is you're talking about differences, yes, and I agree with those differerences. But it still doesn't address why there's little to no headway when Japanese Americans got it like that.
Because the payout for Japanese Americans is exponentially smaller than.
I agree, but it's
what we would have to get.
It didn't take that long to make a determination. Why would it take so long to make that determination for us?
Because the determination would mean dependent on not dependent. The determination would be based on the amount of labor put in over the years, which would be hundreds of years. That would be the determining factor of how much money or how much would be owed to us.
But those numbers,
that's a lot of that.
I agree, brother. But brother Ron, it doesn't take decades and decades and decades to calculate that. That's already been calculated. Our brothers, Tony and Yvette, have calculated that.
All right, you want me to be honest with you?
Yes.
Okay, because if reparations were paid back to so-called African Americans,
yes,
that would mean that that would be the crippling of Europe.
How?
Because Europe was involved in all of this.
Okay, now you see where you went, right?
Yeah, and now I'm about to go there. Let me keep going. Because I'm gonna take you right where you're going. So now look, now watch this. Now, the reason it'll be crippling of Europe, because not only would America owe African Americans, but now other nations of people, like people from the Caribbean, their cases would have to go into play. And on
where would those cases go into play? In America? See, you remember, you limited yourself to America. You said African Americans, which would
no. What I'm saying, I'm answering your question. The reason why it's so hard to figure this out, because the amount of money, the payout, and not only that,
it would involve other nations, wouldn't it?
It would involve other nations.
Okay, here's my question to you, and you've already answered the question, so my question is really rhetorical. Which one of the current reparations movements address slavery internationally?
I can't tell you.
That's my point, bro. Remember what I said in the beginning about the Profits program being comprehensive and inclusive?
Okay.
All right. There we go.
So what do you say about people who would say, let's focus on the African American issue first?
I mean, of course, that's where the Prophet started. That's why he said in Act 6 from 1779 to 1865. But he also said the European, he didn't say America. He said the European is going to have to pay our people off for the work that they did in slavery and pay off in compounded interest. That goes beyond 1779.
So you're saying it all ties back to nationality?
You have to have a program that expands beyond the origin of the United States of America. I didn't say at its own, it can begin, yes, because we're here. It begins here. Matter of fact, I'll just quote the prophet. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said this: "It must be kept in mind that no great movement can take definite shape in 2 or 3 years so as to be error-proof. However, through accumulating experience, each annual convention ought to witness a more perfect and wider functioning organization, representing the organized experience of men and women members throughout the country and possibly in time the world over." That's what we call comprehensive.
Okay.
So starting here, absolutely. Limited to just America? No.
No, I mean, no. But starting here, you know, I agree with this starting here. So we both basically agree. We agree.
What?
I mean, so where do you disagree? Do you disagree?
We agree, but where we may differ is on methodology, is on direction, is on priority. Now let's get right to it, right? Mm-hmm. The other movements, we honor their effort, but their effort is just to chase the bag. That's not the prophet's perspective. He said, "Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, not the bag." In other words, and we're not being spooky when we say seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. He's saying address the principal issue. The principal issue ain't the money. And I got hard numbers to show it. Hard data to show that it's not the money that's the principal issue. So when you base an entire reparations effort on just the money, now the issue is the name on the check. And I mean that literally and figuratively. Why? Because if you're just chasing the money, your starting point as it relates to identity is going to be based on a condition. You get it?
Yeah.
Hence, Black indigenous people of color. Hence, foundational Black American. You see where I'm going?
Yeah.
You're talking now ADOS. In other words, you're identifying based on a former condition of servitude. That is not the way to identify people. Japanese Americans, when they sought reparations, didn't say, "Hey, we're American interns interned in concentration camps or World War II." Yeah. They did not define themselves by a former condition.
That's a fact. It's romanticizing of the condition. They think that's what galvanizes people, get people mobilized, is by identifying with that pain. It's like how hip hop songs say, "I'm from the hood, so I'm gonna keep using that to get your attention because the real ones will understand me."
There you
if
go.
He come out rapping like Common or Mos Def, yeah, he's backpacking. I don't want to hear that.
Right. You see what I'm saying? What I'm saying? In other words, we're right back to identity crisis. We're right back there.
You know, I was talking to a brother earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, brother from Canada, peace to you, Cujo. Cujo was pretty much saying the same exact thing. Cujo's just, you know, how he talks and everything like that. But yeah. No, I don't disagree with what you're saying, and I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
Can we talk briefly about the issues? Talk critically about the issues with the current reparations movements.
Sure.
All right, let's just start with the current state of our community. When I say that our community, I'm talking about Asiatics in America collectively, right? Mm-hmm. For the viewers, the quote unquote African American community, the Black community, the Black population as a financial entity collectively, right? Let's talk some hard numbers. Our collective economic power by 2030 is set to expand from what, $910 billion in consumption from 2019 to 1.7 trillion by 2030. That's on par with many nations' economies on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you and I know we don't even got to go any further, really, because I already know what you're thinking, because you're thinking what I'm thinking. Do we benefit from that? Absolutely not, but who does? Now the question is why? Why is it that we don't benefit from our own economic consumerism? Go. I want to hear it, Brother Ron. Go.
Well, Mike has something to say, but I want to give him. I want to let him talk. I was researching this. Yeah.
No, that's a fact what you said, because we're number one. We're consumers. We don't own no industries. Don't think entertainment and sports is an industry that's not owned by us. Lack of unity, as you said. He said up to par. When Ron and I started that a whole nonprofit par, I was doing the research on agriculture, and I realized we only have 3% of so-called black farming in America, which means you can't feed yourself.
And war is being waged on that as we speak.
Yeah, so you can't talk revolution if you can't feed yourself.
Right about that. Right about
You know
that.
what I'm saying?
I did a little research on the consumerism, the psychology. Now, I don't know the exact. Well, hold on. I wish I could pull it up. I don't have the receipts on it, but if you can quote me on this, and if I'm wrong, let me know. So the way we spend is like this. Mm-hmm. We spend money on transportation, food. Food is number one. Mm-hmm. Transportation. Mm-hmm. Got to get to work. Got to go. Blah, 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 blah. Gas and all that. Mm-hmm. So just with those two alone, I'm thinking that we do a lot of emotional spending, especially with the food, right?
Okay.
Our
I would agree.
Our impulse, we have bad impulse control.
I agree.
And culturally, the way we eat is like the average American, right? Yes. And I looked into other cultures and the way they eat, ones that are at the top economically, like Indians and Asians. Mm-hmm. And the way they eat is completely different. They eat less meals and stuff like that. So anyway, those are the two factors: food, transportation. You also have hair and just
now let's
clothing. Billion-dollar industry.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Now, guess where education is?
Where?
As far as spending.
Oh, brother, you hit it right on the nose.
All the
way.
In
other words, our collective financial literacy rate is abysmal. Mm-hmm. Abysmal. We do not understand how money works, and our forefathers taught the world how money works. You want to talk about loss of knowledge itself?
Yeah, economically, we lack that. That's true? Because they say the money within other communities, other ethnic groups, will go on for 3 days. They'll circulate within that community for 3 days, but within ours, it's about 3 to 6 hours.
I was about to say, brother, we got I got hard numbers on it. The Metro Edge report of 2005, and the numbers didn't get better; they got worse. So for anybody that says, "Well, that was 2005," yeah, you're right. You know what the Metro Edge report says? The Metro Edge report says that in 2 out of every $3 we spend outside of our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Let me say it again. 2 out of every $3 we spend outside of our own neighborhood. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? That means, among other things, we're more likely to live in economic deserts because we're helping to create them.
Exactly. Oh, prime example, Reef, on the other note, like, when people are out here doing that PPP scan, right? And this is what I'm saying. They risk their lives every day for nothing that's unrewarding. How do you generate X amount of dollars from pulling a scam just to go buy a luxury car?
But like
I'm a fly to go buy.
Yeah, like I said, we have abysmal financial literacy. Our financial literacy is horrendous. Now, to be balanced, we were taught this way. We were terrorized into this condition. Exactly. Let's just be fair.
let's talk about that. I want to
Let's
hear
just be
this.
fair. So we're cool, but so let's balance it, right? Let's balance it. The Federal Housing Administration. The Federal Housing Administration subsidized Europeans, or quote unquote white people, for years during the Jim Crow era. What do we mean by subsidized? They ran programs to suburbanize America. They subsidized mass production builders to create white-only subdivisions. And then they subsidized the families who were living where? In the urban centers in housing projects. They subsidized them to move out to the suburbs and then refused to insure mortgages in our neighborhoods.
That's where that whole redlining thing came from.
Yeah, that's redlining.
Yeah,
that's what happened. And then, caused the white flight, quote unquote, depopulating public housing for Europeans, right? But then the local public housing authorities who were charged with the responsibility of housing us, right? At that time, we were too poor to pay the bill. We were too poor to pay the rent. Okay, again, now let's talk about wealth. Generational wealth is based on what, people? Land ownership. So Europeans were subsidized by the federal government into land ownership and generating generational wealth. What I'm telling you right now is the foundation of the current racial wealth gap.
Let me type this up. That's probably going to be the next subject.
Right, it shows every day. Generational wealth is a big gap between that, because as you said, we don't have financial literacy.
But here's what's happening, Brother Mikey. The status quo, right, points at the result as if they had no hand in the cause.
Of course. That's the game you play.
They're like, yo, your leg's broken. Yeah, you broke it.
Yeah. Now pull this up by your bootstraps. That's what they'll tell you. Right? It doesn't work like that.
There you go.
Understand the psychology, as you mentioned before in a previous episode, sociology plays a part in that.
Yeah.
But we can't go in there blindly with emotions and not be strategic in our thinking to see what's going on. That's the whole part,
Brother Mikey, what you're saying. If I can put my finger on the problem, now the onus is on me. I can't keep pointing the finger. If I can actually put my finger on the issue. Now, which gets right back to this whole thing. See, if you can't really put your finger on the pulse of the issue, how do you expect to make any headway? That, in my opinion, is why the reparations movement hasn't moved much.
Exactly.
Now, I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself. A number of years ago, when Tony and Yvette were really, shaking things up with ADOS, you heard a bunch of European politicians all of a sudden start sweethearting the word reparations. But let me tell you why. All of a sudden they start pandering to our people about and throwing that word reparations out. Why? Because they said, this might be the one issue that will galvanize the black vote. Until they saw the breakdown due to systemic issues within ADOS, within FBA, within BIPOC, and all those issues surrounded around what? Identification. Who exactly is BIPOC? Who exactly is ADOS? Mikey Fever would not be ADOS.
Although I was born here, and I won't be considered. Something? Yeah. You know why? If you don't vote for me, you're not black, as Joe Biden says, because they know how to play with, pardon me when I say this, and I'm not separating myself from this. I'm including some certain people too. They know how to play with you Negroes' emotions. Keywords, as you say, pandering. And it's easy to divide you. I could give a good analogy. I could put every group of person in one room, right? And I could say I have one piece of a puzzle. I have pieces of one puzzle. I give them each a piece, dividing groups. They're so emotional and caught up in competition, they won't realize that I just ran a game on you. If they all work together, you see the bigger picture. But nah.
Hit it right on the nose. And guess what? Crazy, that principle of collective labor, that busy bee demonstration, right, don't cost nothing. Prophet Noble Drew Ali called it free national standards. See, that costs nothing.
Yeah, man, that's powerful, man.
Yeah,
Sociology for you.
Know what it costs? Know what it costs? It costs me looking at Brother Mikey and me looking at Brother Ron and saying, you know what? On its face, I trust you with my money. On site. Not what we normally do, even in 2024. We glad hand and backslap and smile in each other's face, and we're thinking every Negro for himself.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, okay. You're saying you're generalizing. That's all right.
Yeah, it's generalizing.
Yeah.
Generalizing. Yes.
But then I see what you're saying, and I agree with Ron was going to take it. Now it's based on the individual's integrity.
Another thing to add again to the hamstringing, the financial and economic hamstringing of the Asiatic community. You know, there's the whole New Deal, Jim Crow era government programs. So that one of them I just mentioned, the Federal Housing Administration, right? You got, a lot of these government programs provided minimum wages, union rights, and Social Security benefits to industrial workers, which were predominantly European, while denying the same to agricultural and domestic workers, which were largely who? Okay. See? Now you add those things, that chopped our legs. But then, so what did we do? The best we could with what we had. Right? But now we're doing it, not just hamstringed in that way, but hamstringed here without financial literacy knowledge. Okay, let's go back. You think?
I think, I don't mean to cut you up.
Go ahead.
Financial literacy is one thing, but I think that the issue, even before we get to financial literacy, is just cultural.
Brother, I agree with you 100%. But I'm gonna get there. But hold on.
Okay.
Right. Black Wall Street. You think they didn't know what financial literacy was? Of course they did. What happened? Got bombed from the air. Got terrorized.
Yeah.
You got terrorized.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Wilmington, South Carolina, 1898. What happened? Terrorized. Right?
Mm-hmm.
A whole bunch of cities during that time period terrorized. So financial literacy, it was like neo-inquisition. You knew how to organize that way financially, or we got at you, or they got at you, right? Yeah, there's a continuation of the Inquisition, just like Project 2025. We'll get to that later. The Project 2025 is a return to the Inquisition. But anyway, so you see what I'm saying? It was terrorized out of us. Mm-hmm. That is important. That has to be said. It doesn't, but again, like I said, once we can put our finger on the pulse of the issue, now the onus is on us. I can't just point the finger and sit on my hands. Mm-hmm. See, can't do that.
So to go back to cultural, right? The prophet is as far as culture is concerned.
Yes.
Can you quote any of the prophet's teachings on culture and us needing a culture and basically us changing our mindset?
Yeah, of course. Real simple. Nationality. He said with us, Act 6, all members must proclaim their nationality. People, now I'm going to stop right there real quick briefly to say this. Many of us don't even understand what nationality is or what it really entails. We think it's a legal thing. It's not. It's a social thing. And culture is a social issue. Nationality is an issue of sociology. Okay? Not legalities, sociology. So cultural heritage and its preservation and propagation is part and parcel to nationality.
That's a fact.
See?
That's true.
That's it. When we get to almost to the point, brother, where you could say nationality and cultural heritage preservation are near synonymous.
It is.
All right. Now, I'm kind of jumping ahead, but Forbes Business School did an article. You can Google the article, and not just them, but other people have too. But Forbes Business School did an article on cultural heritage as it relates to community economics. Guess what it's called? Guess what they say? You ready?
Yeah.
4 words. Culture is the brand.
Yep.
Culture is the brand.
Now we got this pseudo culture that's here that's being
Think
branded.
about it. When you go to Chinese restaurants, and I'm even talking to the viewers, when you go to a Chinese restaurant, most people cannot eat with chopsticks, but I bet they try every single time they go to a Chinese restaurant, don't they? Why? Because
Experience the
you're not
culture.
just buying the food, you're buying the cultural experience.
Yep.
See? In other words, cultural branding of an area plays a very big part in determining the economics of the area. Remember Barry Gordy's movie, The Last Dragon?
Yeah.
What made Bruce Lee, what made the occupation of Bruce Leroy's father so funny? Come on, we know. Directing your pizza to what?
Jolly Green's Pizza.
Daddy Green's Pizza.
Daddy Green's Pizza.
A pizza shop in Harlem?
Yeah.
Okay, now you get it. That's what made it so funny.
Yeah.
All right. See?
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, man.
Okay. So you're saying that the culture of the people is the brand for them to generate economics?
Community economics.
Community economics.
You not opening, you, Brother Ron, or you, Mikey Fever, or me. We are not opening a pizza shop in Little Italy.
Community, yeah, you be supported. It's who will support.
Yeah, we're not doing that. No matter how hard you try.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Culturally, they want.
Now, conversely, watch this. You all mentioned quote unquote black hair products.
Mm-hmm.
The Koreans have made that part of their cultural economics. And they don't let us in, do they?
No. Put your face in the box.
Even though they sell to us exclusively.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's like prime example at Aunt Jemima box. Who really owned that company?
Right.
Well, what I'm speaking of mainly is about, having impulse control and, the way we spend money on food and just dressing and, to look cool. Our culture is set us up pretty much to fail.
Brother, correct. Correct. But it's the culture of who and what? It's the culture of slaves. Sorry.
That's true.
Culture of slaves. Because no other civilized community operates this way. Community economics, collective economics is a foregone conclusion with every other national group.
That's a fact. Say that again, Reef, because you know who does that?
Who? Tell me.
The Hasidics. Look how they dress. They tailor their own suits. They have their own supermarkets, own apartment buildings.
Listen, we see it in New York City. Other places don't see it so much because it's not international. So it's much more polarized.
Exactly.
But we definitely see it in New York City.
Yeah, they play the game very well. But we're so stuck on buying the latest brand. Yeah. Buying of a Negro. If it doesn't cost $1,000 or more, I'm not wearing it.
We've part of our as it relates to that, our culture, that part of our culture has become learning to look good losing.
Mm.
Look good even when you're doing bad. You gotta look good.
We're medicating ourselves.
Yeah,
medicating ourselves with food, entertainment, and looking nice.
Prime example, even when they sell alcohol, like you got the Ciroc and all that.
Yes.
They mostly put that within our communities. I could go to my sister's area. I don't see a liquor store like every 2 blocks.
I like what you said, Brother Mikey Phoebus. I'm in Syracuse, New York. Syracuse, New York is a national test market for a number of things. Mm-hmm. They tested Zima in Syracuse.
Oh, wow. Zima.
Yes.
Zima, the drink?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a wine cooler or something like that.
Yeah. They tested that here. See, a lot of juvenile justice issues are first tested here. Directing RICO, racketeering influence corrupt organization legislation against neighborhood gangs. They revolutionized that here in Syracuse. Okay, I say that to say this. I mentioned earlier about the Metro Edge report, right? Metro Edge is a company in Texas, right? The city of Syracuse contracted them in 2005 to do business viability assessment in the county of Onondaga and the city of Syracuse. I'm gonna give you some hard numbers. The numbers are disgusting. You're gonna want to throw up. Business viability. Okay, so the median income in the entire county of Onondaga at that time, $35,000. The maximum spending potential per square mile per day was $82.50. It's not bad. Now let's narrow it to the city of Syracuse. Let's narrow it further to the 4th district of Syracuse, which includes downtown, part of downtown, south side Syracuse, part of the south side of Syracuse, Syracuse University area. Listen, let's narrow it even further. So we're talking about a section of a district in the city of Syracuse. This section is they call it today the South Salina Trade Zone. I'm going to tell you why. You'll know why they call it that now. This area, and anybody listening from Syracuse, New York knows what I'm talking about. South Salina Street from Taylor Avenue to Midland Avenue, north to south. I'm sorry, Taylor Avenue to Brighton Avenue, north to south. From Midland to 81 to Highway 81, east to west. Anybody from Syracuse knows that this is the hood, dirt poor. This is the hood. The median income in this area, $21,000. The maximum spending potential per square mile per day, $875.
Woo! Evil plan at that, man.
We are bleeding, we are hemorrhaging money. We're hemorrhaging money. Like I said, money's not the issue, really. Principles are the issue.
That's the issue in every urban community, though, because they pay the most taxes. It has the less paved streets, disgusting sanitation service, lack of resource, terrible schools, but somehow the taxes are siphoning out those communities so quick.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Now, just the brother Sharif said the principles, right? So let's say if we get let's say each of us get $1 million after reparations.
Mm-hmm.
You really want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Look at Dave Chappelle's skit. That's what's going to happen.
You heard the numbers that I just gave, right?
Yeah.
You know those numbers are based on another statistic that I just gave earlier, which is 2 out of every $3 we spend outside of our community. Do I have to go any further? Where will that money be in less than 24 months?
Right back there.
Then what will we tell our children?
We tried. I'm telling you, you're going to see a Bentley every corner.
What do you think should be the remedy besides money?
Stop going after the bag first. Go after unity first. It's free. But how do people unify? Common national origin, common American experience. What's that called? Nationality.
Now the issue is that like I was explaining to Cujo through a DM, you know, it's hard for all of us to come up underneath one, you know, nationality because of the simple fact of just like different identities, different brain function,
not monolithic,
and all that.
I respectfully disagree, and I'm going to tell you why. Hold on. I would say it is difficult. I will agree with you, it's difficult, but not for that reason. If that's the reason, then what the real reason is, sir, is a lack of comprehensive understanding of nationality. So we have to start talking about what type of identification that is. Brother Mikey, do you have children? There you go.
One.
Brother Ron, you have children, right?
Yeah.
Your children call you dad or father, right?
Yeah.
Does anybody on the job call you that?
No.
Exactly. So there's different types of identification. We are so miseducated and uneducated on these social nuances. You understand? We really are. So it requires a better and more comprehensive education on these issues. It's
okay,
just
so let's say everyone. Okay, so let's say, now we're all. What's a better term? More? Would it be more?
Hold on. Listen, we got to back up. We got to still determine. We got to still categorize and understand the various types of identification. There's tribal identification. There's ethnic identification. There's religious identification. There's all kinds of different types of identification. Those three are big ones. Now here's the question we need to ask. Is there a type of identification that's inclusive of all three? What type of identification is nationality? It's socio-political. Let's quote the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, page 3 of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Where's my quote? I'll paraphrase it. The industrious acts of the Muslims, and I'm paraphrasing, so forgive me. These are the Moabites, Hamathites, and Canaanites who were driven from the land of Canaan by Joshua and were given permission by the pharaohs of Egypt to settle in that portion of Egypt. In later years, who's the they? Those were ethnic groups. Moabites, Hamathites, Canaanites. Those were ethnic groups, tribes. Get it? It says in later years, they formed themselves kingdoms. Well, the term kingdom is what? Socio-political. Inclusive of various tribes, various ethnic. See where I'm going? It says these kingdoms are called this day Morocco, Algiers, Tunis, Tripoli, etc. See how that works?
Mm-hmm.
Nationality is socio-political identification, and it is inclusive of tribalism, ethnicity differences, etc.
That takes higher thinking.
Prophet Noble Drew Ali knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
We just haven't caught up to him. This thing is still unfolding in our minds. It's still revealing itself to us in 2024.
All right. So now let's say we're all now, we all have the same nationality. We finally agree to one.
We actually already do. We just haven't agreed yet.
Right. So let's say we all agree right now. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, right? So now we all agree. Mm-hmm. We're all Moorish Americans.
That comes with something.
Okay.
What does it come with? See, now we're walking down the right path and walking the right steps, right? I get blessed in or jumped into,
mm-hmm.
a particular street affiliation.
Yeah.
There are things that come with that, don't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I get to find out what those things are, don't I?
Yep.
But I get to find out when, after I'm in.
Yeah. Protocols and stuff, yeah.
So there's things that, what do I find? I get to find out. Hey, I get the literature. I get the history. You get it?
Yes, sir.
I get the lingo. What is that called? Cultural heritage.
Mm-hmm.
What comes with that? History.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So purpose goes hand in hand with identity. Purpose is direction. I actually now know which way to go to get the things I need. This is also part and parcel of the American experience, which is why cultural heritage preservation is an integral part of the American experience, which is why Prophet Noble Drew Ali said we have to answer up to the constitutional standard. It's a social standard. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to say where you're from. Why? Social politically. Why? Because that's your contribution to American society.
Makes sense. That's a fact.
Okay.
See?
Now we're all socially and mentally, one. Now
here we go.
Where do we go? How do we?
Noble Drew Ali taught
We
us this.
still want the reparations. The Moorish American.
Let's get there. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Ron want the bag.
I want that bag.
See, but hold on. Look at what we've done this far walking through this process. Look at what we've done. We've honored our mother and our father. That's seeking the kingdom of heaven first. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We've done the right thing first. Now all these other things are coming and falling into place. We get the history. We study Prophet Drew Ali. Prophet Drew Ali says this: through sin and disobedience, every nation suffered slavery. Pause. What does that tell us?
We're brothers at arms.
Say it again.
We're brothers at arms.
And guess what? Our condition as relates to slavery is not unique. So what is? In other words, slavery ain't the issue. That's another systemic problem with
identity.
Identity.
You know what I say? We fell from within.
You, bro.
we were conquered from within. You feel me? We fell from within. We destroyed from within.
I got it.
That's all it is.
What is the issue then? Identity crisis. The technical term in sociology would be ethnocide, the wiping of a nation's collective memory.
Exactly.
You understand?
Yeah.
The wiping of a nation's collective memory. You just turned them into zombies. That's called denationalization. So you ready?
Yeah.
Who did that happen to? In other words, our history did not begin with 1619. Our history began in terms of the whole slavery issue. It began with it began with a document issued by Pope Eugene IV in 1442. Whoa, what was going on in 1442? What was the socio-political climate of Europe in 1442? We were still ruling. That's what it was. What was going on? It was the crescendo of the Reconquista, Europeans trying to retake Europe from us.
Yeah, we always forget that.
So right. So now follow me. 1442, Ilias Qa, Pro Se Divini. That was the name of the papal bull. Then there was others. There was Romanus Pontifex, Dum Diversus, Inter Caetera. These form what is now called the doctrine of discovery. Usually when you hear doctrine of discovery, you're talking about what happened to the Native Americans. No, it began with us. Slavery began as a wartime conceit that later became commerce.
And now we're prisoners of war.
Okay, but look at what we just did now. We just made, through doctrine of discovery, two things. The beneficiaries of the denationalization is the African diaspora in the West. That includes Haitian Americans. See where we're going? Okay, hold on. And what are we seeking reparations for? Slavery? No, that's part of it. Denationalization. Who is due to cut the check? Every European nation that benefited from doctrine of discovery.
And they are not going to let that happen.
Who says? Pause. Hold on.
It's going to be a war for that.
Possibly. But listen. Right is right.
Look what happened to Haiti.
Right is right. There you go. Right is right. We're talking. Right is right. Am I correct?
Do you know what we're talking about right here?
Of course I know.
All right.
Of course I know. But now, hold on. Let's look at the current international economic situation. You guys know, listen. You guys know what's happening with the global South right now, economically. You guys know what the BRICS Alliance is, don't you? If not, you should.
Yeah.
The BRICS Alliance is the engine doing what in America right now? De-dollarization.
Exactly.
What happened with the 50-year mandate with Saudi Arabia and U.S. and the petrodollar?
Oh yeah.
It's in a grave.
Yeah.
It's done.
Okay. So what? Okay. So what was that again?
Yeah, it's already been going down.
The whole world is pushing out Euro imperialism. The whole world is. That means, as the prophet said, power changes as the ethers change. In other words, the conditions. The conditions are changing.
Of course. It starts with the mind. The revolution will not be televised.
Changing, brother.
Say it again, brother.
The revolution will not be televised. It's all in the mind.
The conditions are right. The conditions are changing. But now, here I am. Am I an economics major? No. I'm just a regular guy. But if I can see that, you think the status quo don't see it?
Of course.
You don't. Come on. Euro colonialism is getting kicked out everywhere. Everywhere. If America is to survive, the only way it's going to be able to do business is through people that look like you and me. Because the rest of the world ain't going to want to do. Okay, bro.
That's what you were saying. Okay.
That's why they're going back to Africa.
You think the status quo don't see that? You think what's happening to the Palestinians ain't lined up for us? Now we're back to Project 2025.
Yeah, what is that?
Haven't been following up with that.
Ooh, you know what? I don't even want to talk about it. Google it and take a look at it.
Now, 2025, is that 2025?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it real with you, Reef. I'm gonna throw a wrench out there. I don't think the election's gonna happen this year, bro. I'm keeping it real.
You know what it's like, and this is just, you know what? I'm just gonna quote Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He said he came in due time to warn us of that great and dreadful day, which is sure to come.
It's not gonna happen in November. I doubt it will happen in November, Reef.
So no matter which way it goes, the whole thing, okay. No matter which way it goes. That's why you won't catch, and this is me talking personally, you won't catch me caught up in bipartisanship.
Yeah.
Either.
Sure won't.
Yeah, Reef, is it safe to say that there's no election this year? I don't know, my microphone was where if you guys heard me earlier.
Here's my thing, bro. Mm-hmm. Either way it goes, it don't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter either way, but I don't think
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
You can realize how close we are. People can really realize how much we need in each other. All that.
Thank you.
So-called Black Americans, so-called Caribbean. You're gonna realize how much we need each other when the time comes.
Correct.
Well, my thing is like, how is that when the time comes? How are we gonna function? How are we gonna work together? Are we gonna take each other seriously and say, we're one people?
That's our heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Right there. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali said it this way: get ready before you are made to do so. You know this Project African Restoration, this organization that we created. I saw it from afar. I said, listen, we have all of these different nationalities coming from the Caribbean, from Africa, coming. This is like the perfect time for us to unify.
During the middle of the pandemic, and we were feeding families.
Yeah,
we were. But we had some brothers that were just confused.
But that's what I'm saying. The heavy lifting that he's talking about. I personally believe the reason why it was so hard for us to stick together is because we had the Caribbean, African American,
but no commonality that everybody could.
Oh, I peeped it. I peeped the commonality. Ron would tell you. He gave the word. I'm like, yo, I see where you're coming with that. I see where you're going. But other brothers that were involved were saying, nah, you don't deserve to be here. You got family from the Caribbean. How do you benefit from this? You can't be standing next to Moors.
When that happened, brother, when that happened with ADOS is when the politicians said, and they backed away. You don't hear reparations no more. That's why. Because their biggest man, J. Edgar Hoover said it publicly. At a time, we're talking Jim Crow era, where you could. and be okay. It was accepted. He said, "What is the greatest thing?" He was asked the question, "What the greatest threat to American security was?" He said, "Negro unity." That's what he said.
Yeah, man. People are sick, man. People are dumb.
But of course, J. Edgar Hoover, knew. But of course, J. Edgar Hoover knew what we were talking about.
Now let's take it back for the listeners. So let's say now we're all Moors. We'll all have it locked down. We're all together mentally, everything, right?
I'll quote the prophet Drew Ali. He said this: "One day the European is going to let you down. You're going to have to store a 90-day supply of food until your brothers from the east come to rescue you."
I always say that.
Project African Restoration.
We're coming back. We're coming back.
NYP is just the guys for Project African Restoration.
I'm gonna add this, and then any disgruntled members there, this time I might hit a savior. If it's gonna go down, I'm gonna let it go down. Ron, know what I'm talking about. I ain't gonna step in.
Let me ask you, Brother Ron, what we've just discussed over the past half hour or so, right? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Well, I want to make it clear though for the listeners. I hear what you're saying.
Yes.
But for the people who don't get it, we're Moors now. We're all one. What's happening now? Are we going for reparations?
Again, okay. He's like, okay, we say our Moors. Let's get the back. No. There's more steps.
Okay.
It's better to do it this way. You ever hid money from yourself so well that you forgot where it was? And then it happens to pop up when you weren't looking for it.
Yeah.
That's the best way. Okay? In other words, let's take the story, and we can relate, right? Let's take the story of Jesus when he was in India. Jesus was with the high society types. And there was a rich man who held a feast. And this rich man had a generous heart. So he invited the high society types, and he invited the lowlifes too. He invited the thieves and the courtesans. He invited the numbers runners. That's right. Who do you think Jesus went to go sit with? He went and socialized with the low society types. And the high society types that he came with was like, yo, you just destroyed your rep. And Jesus let them have it. He was like, yo, he began with a master never screens himself for reputation or for fame. And then he goes on to land-based them. And he says, the only difference between you and them is this. They know exactly who they are. They don't hide it. But they want to do right, not because they're scared of reputation like you are. You have enough money to hide behind the tinsel coat of reputation and make it look good. See what I'm saying? These ones over here, they want to do right, not because they're scared of fear of God or force of arms. They want to do right because they're just tired of doing wrong. And in that respect, they are more advanced than you. They are spiritually advanced. You hide behind reputation. They don't. They're not scared into doing right. You ain't got to tell them don't eat the watermelon seed or a watermelon's going to grow in your stomach and you're going to die. You ain't got to tell them foolishness like that.
Detaching.
We have to learn that lesson. We got to learn that lesson. See?
But now we're on a panel with ADOS people and, pro reparations people. Okay. Now let's play not devil's advocate. Let's kind of like role play a little bit. Pause.
Pause. Yo, that's not right.
We from New York, we got to pause.
Let's create a scenario. Let's just create a theoretical thing.
Yeah. So now, brother, I hear you. That sounds all well and good, but they owe us, and we need reparations. We need our money. It's on the table right now. With trying to put this through legislation, and it's happening. We're moving on this. Sorry,
That's the end of the conversation.
That's it.
I'll say why. It's the end of the conversation because right off top, again, the priority for this individual, for this brother or this sister, is getting a bag, not self-improvement. Is getting the bag, not uniting with their brother or sister. They're thinking that getting the bag is going to make that better. We know how that works in the hood, don't we? You get the bag today, the guns come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I would say in more wealthy communities, violence goes down actually, or violence doesn't even exist in certain wealthy.
Okay, let's go back to community economics. Let's go back to our lack of financial literacy. Let's go back to identity crisis. These things are what fuel the disparaging conditions that we now call Black culture. Identity crisis, and subsequent to identity crisis, what do we have? A lack of communal love and trust, which fuels what? An absence of community economics, which fuels what? Economic deserts, which fuels what? A propensity to what?
Criminality. Yep.
We got Grandmaster Supreme. What's up, Grandmaster Supreme? What's going on? Peace. He said they're hiding the info to get us our reparations. I met a noble who was, I can't see this right here.
Who has proved this to me? It's 3.2 million per person.
Okay.
Get the bag today, the guns come out tomorrow. Allah is God. Who are you fearing?
See my point?
But let's think about this, Paul. Let's think about this. You put $3.2 million in each person's pocket in the ghetto. Do you think violence would ensue?
Hold on. It's the violence thing. We already know. The violence.
I think that'll happen because the reason why the violence happens is because we're fighting over territory and
something you don't even own.
Hold on, but follow me. Do you think putting a bag in somebody's hand is going to improve their morality? Hold on. No. Do you think putting a bag in somebody's hand is going to automatically imbue them with principles?
No.
Thank you. What does money usually do with people? It makes them more of what they already are.
Exactly. You be putting hits out on people.
I don't know, but if we look at statistics, poverty-stricken neighborhoods are the ones with the highest crime and murders.
But brother, you just exactly. But hold on, putting money in the community does not change the poverty status.
It's a mentality thing, brother.
Think about what I just gave you earlier from the Metro Edge report. The reason that this area in Syracuse, New York is poor is not because those people don't work. They work their behinds off, or else there would not be a spending potential per square mile per day of $875, as opposed to $82.50 for the entire county. See, you can't argue with that.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'll say this, but we're talking about the median income there is $22,000. 21. I'm saying the median income is going to jump high if each person has $3.2 million.
Wrong. That's not income. That's a stimulus.
Okay, I'll take that. But however, money is going to be circulated.
No, wrong.
For years.
Wrong.
You think we're all gonna spend that $3.2 million like this? That's not gonna
listen. No. Back up. Listen. Does it take you getting a bag of millions of dollars to circulate your dollar? No, it doesn't. Are we creatures of habit or not?
Okay.
Creatures of habit.
All right. If we are not circulating the dollar now, what in the world makes you think we're going to do it when we get millions?
I'll say this. Me personally, I'm just saying myself. I get 3 millions of dollars. I mean, 3 million dollars.
Right.
Right. The first thing I'm gonna do is buy a space, land. Right. And from there, I'm gonna put the things in there that I'm talented in to basically sell it to the people as a service, goods and services.
Pause.
To make that money over and over and over again.
Pause. How many people in your neighborhood, how many stores in your neighborhood are owned by people in your neighborhood?
Well, I live in a different neighborhood. I don't really want to talk about the type of neighborhood I live in.
Harlem.
If I was in Harlem. Okay. Oh, now, well, Harlem did fairly good with I'm gonna say Harlem did have a lot of quote unquote black businesses. They did.
Is the point. Yes.
They did, yeah.
They did. But you see where I'm going, don't you?
Yeah, the money goes back outside the community. There's no, with all that money we have circulating, all right, we're gonna have necessities that we need. Somebody doesn't
to the point I was bringing up regarding what Brother Ron said, what he would do when he gets the money, he's going to provide. He's going to become a producer. Here's our problem. We don't buy from our own.
No, we don't. We look for discounts. Come on, look at discount, brother. Come on. Let's keep it real, right, Reef? I want a discount. Listen, you go to Polo.
We gotta look at ourselves.
Nah, you go to Polo, you don't ask for discount. You just pay that.
We gotta look at ourselves.
This reparation conversation is actually good because this is like we getting a lot of talking in the chat right now. Brothers, what's that? The God Supreme, Peace Supreme, knowledge of self bring forth more morality. Yes. That whole comment you just made. That's what the brother Sharif is talking about. Mm-hmm. That's what the brother Sharif is talking about.
We need principles, people.
Yes,
we have to change us.
Brother Awareness Daily, how can addressing both spiritual and economic factors provide a holistic solution to poverty?
He went deep on that.
The answer's in his question.
Egregore, but that's something different. See, because this thing is on different levels to hit it on. Spiritual, physical, mental.
Correct. Exactly.
On the same tune.
Here we go. Let's just make the whole spiritual or principle thing pragmatic. I've said this before on your show, Brother Ron. You train martial arts, right? Punching is an impact action, striking, right? Well, to get maximum damage or let's say maximum effectiveness, do you punch at the surface of the target?
No, punch through it.
All of the reparations movements, respectfully, are punching at the surface of the target. Principle means I punch beyond the target. And what do I get? Everything in between.
I'm going to tell you why. Because getting the bag is a now thing. I could get the bag 10, 20 years from now. You know, if I keep putting it, keep focused on reparations. What you're talking about is gonna be like 100 years. That's to get us all on the same page.
I don't think so. You know why I don't think so?
Why?
Because power changes as the ethers change. That's why. Pay attention to the conditions. Things ain't moving that slow. They're really not. And remember, you just shrunk your perception of the matter back to domestic. When this issue is not merely domestic. It only starts for us domestically. It's not a domestic issue.
Ishmael just said, what is that? Soul, who is that?
Soul Javelin
Spear.
Yeah. That's because it's not enough black businesses. Yeah, we were saying that. We're just consumers.
But why? Why is it not enough black businesses? You think our people haven't tried to open businesses? You think we're just that dumb and we don't know how to do it?
Lack of support.
There you go.
Are you saying it's okay for Caribbean islands to double dip regarding reparations because US is not included
And that's what we're talking about. That,
CARICOM.
Mikey, I'm gonna let you answer that one.
yeah, you see that's that mindset we spoke about. Caribbean,
There's the divisiveness.
that's a division right there.
You're not getting no reparations, bro. Nah,
and,
man.
and listen, I wouldn't care to get reparations. You know what? Because although I'm born here in America, my mother and my father are dealing with their own issues out in Haiti, dealing with France. Because France had put an addendum on Haiti for us.
Now let's go back to the Moorish. Now let's go back to the Moorish American solution or the Moorish American plan, right?
Yeah. Hold on, brother Reef. And what Haiti did as a nation, we fought for our independence. We got our independence, but France put an addendum on us to pay them back. Never have I heard
to pay them
for losing the war,
allowing them to enslave you. How about that?
Yeah. And then with that, within the Haitian Constitution, the old one back then, when that happened, we got our independence. We didn't say this is the only place for a resting place for Haitians only. We said for the rest of the Black world.
Correct. That's fact.
You see what I'm saying? So we didn't have that mindset to be selfish and just like
you didn't have that mindset, right? As a matter of fact,
I'm a challenge Mikey right now. But what about now?
Colonialization. That's what they've been told.
Right. But so again, now let's look at
colonialization, my brother.
Let's look at the changing international complexion. What is the big thing? Why do we see domestically this surge of the radical right? Why do we see it? And why is it lockstep?
The brown of America. That's what they fear.
European with the attempts to extend European neocolonialism and imperialism worldwide.
The browning of America, brother.
You understand? So that's getting pushed out all over the world. All over the world, they're saying, get out. All over the world, get out. Yeah. This is what's happening. Things are changing fast. You understand? Fast. And we are feeling it. See, here's the thing. When we're talking about social politics, for instance, shout out to my brother Nat Turner, Rashamed Aliil, Long Island. You got to get him on the show. His knowledge and acumen on foreign affairs is ridiculous. But anyway,
you gotta get him on here.
Yeah, we get him on it. But anyway, we are not I'm generalizing, right? Most of us don't know what in the world is going on outside the borders. We don't even know what's going on really inside. If you're stuck back and forth where you're either liberal or you're conservative, or you don't know what's going on. Period. Right? Now, I gotta say that. But even bigger than that, we don't understand how foreign affairs affects domestic issues and how they're related.
Of course, very much.
Yes.
Oh yeah, man.
Lunch, people.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm not making this. It's not a pro-Haitian show. You know what I'm saying? No. The U.S. wouldn't have had the Louisiana Purchase without us defeating Napoleon out on that island. That wouldn't have happened without us. And what that brother said, he said double dipping for Caribbeans, right? The six God people, Jews, the Jews, right? Where did the Holocaust take place? The Jewish Holocaust took place in Europe, right?
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So how's that your American dollars every year is funding Israel? Let's talk about that.
Boom. Boom. Boom.
Every year, annually. Talk about that. Are they double dipping?
But that
come on, brother.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's real. Now that's a powerful point, but again, think about what he just said. What Mikey just punctuated what I just said about most of us are oblivious to how foreign affairs affect domestic affairs and how they're related. See, when you say Moorish American, you're descendants of Moroccans born in America, that is inclusive and it presumes you are connected and you understand the connection domestically with world affairs.
Now, how far does Morocco stretch? I mean, the empire.
Well, okay, I'm not okay. I mean, let's talk about that. But I'm not understanding how that relates to the topic. Can you explain that?
Because you say we are descendants of Morocco, born here in America, right?
Yes.
So I'm assuming, let's play devil's advocate. not all of us can claim Moroccan.
Why not?
Because not all of our DNA would be connected.
What kind of identification are we talking about? Are we talking about ethnic or blood?
I'm talking
nationality
blood.
Is socio-political. No, see? No. Nationality is socio-political. Not blood. Different type of identification. Nationality is inclusive of many different blood groups, many different ethnic groups, many different tribal groups. Remember remember? Okay.
Okay,
so we're not talking about blood when we're talking about Morocco?
No, exactly. We're not. No.
That's a good question, man. Because people do get confused with that.
Right.
Let's just go with this. Let's take the country of Nigeria. How many ethnic groups are in Nigeria?
Quite a few.
More than one.
Yeah, for sure.
Or matter of fact, way more than one, right?
Way more.
Okay, but inside of Nigeria, maybe they identify or distinguish themselves by ethnic groups. How do they distinguish themselves outside of Nigeria?
They just say
socio-politically, I'm Nigerian.
Yes.
Get it?
Ooh. But that's gonna be a hard thing for people here, because once people see the Moor, they say Morocco. Some people be like, "Well, I'm not. You don't look Moroccan." They go by the look, like you said, phenotype.
Again, they're all they're doing is voicing their own misunderstanding.
Exactly.
They're voicing their own ignorance.
Because the Moroccan Empire expanded.
Hold on, brother. We in the movement have to be astute enough to be able to catch it. We have to be sharp enough to catch it and say, you're off track. Your thoughts are wrong. See?
I got you.
So how do you explain to a Moroccan, someone who's from Morocco?
I don't have to.
Like French Montana, you might be like, huh?
I don't have to. I will quote them what I read on the last time I was on your show. I'll quote them what the ambassador from Morocco said in 1986 at a celebration for Prophet Noble Drew Ali in Washington, D.C. I ain't gonna fight with him, but man, fight with the ruler in Morocco. Don't fight with me.
So you saying we could, just like the same thing with the Jewish community? Are they really technically Jews?
I'm not understanding the point.
Basically, they're Jewish, right?
There's
people who claim to be Jews have different ethnicity.
There's a difference between. What are we talking about here? Are we talking?
We're talking about Moroccan. So we're talking.
Hold on. Are we talking, when we're saying Jewry, are we talking about the Igbo? Are we talking about the Lemba tribe? Are we talking about, who are we talking about? Who are we talking about?
The Khazarians.
Are we talking about the state of Israel?
Talking about the Khazarians.
We're talking about the state of Israel, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here it is, people. There's a stark difference between Jewry or Semitism and Zionism. They're not the same. They're not the same. Sorry. One is, okay, they're not the same. Now, what I just explained to you is how radical right Christian nationalists in America can support Zionism. I just explained it.
Oh, yeah. YouTube's going to come at us.
Uh-oh. Hey, Mike, I just realized you can do this right here.
Yeah, I just pressed back. Yeah.
Look at what God said.
Asiatic is too general.
Asiatic is too general.
Yeah, it's too general. Chinese are Asiatics. Indonesians are Asiatics. Right. Eskimos are Asiatics.
Yeah.
All right.
So what Ron was saying earlier, it was real though. What he put out there with the whole Moorish Empire. If you go historically, if you do your research, you see it expanded.
You can't deny world history.
Right. So a part of the Moroccan Empire. I don't mean to cut you off. Right. So a part of the Moroccan Empire, where you talk about history. See, I think in America, I think we're kind of like think in a landlocked sense. I guess
we've been miseducated, bro.
Yeah, we think we think the Bronx, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
We've been miseducated.
But if you think about it like this, Harlem and the Bronx is the same thing, kind of.
Shout out to my assistant grand chief, brother Christopher Martin Stansel Ill. He wrote his master's thesis on the Moorish Holocaust and did not get one challenge from his peers or his professors. Not one. You know what they told him though? When he asked them why did he give no challenge, they said two things. One, usually no one writes on the Moors until the doctorate level. Two, they said it's dangerous. That's what they told him. They said it's dangerous. Why? Because the period in history that we're talking about gets glossed over. They talk about Roman Empire, fall of the Roman Empire, the rise of the Holy Roman Empire, New World. They skipped that. They don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. They don't want to talk about the fact that Spain colonized America over 100 years before the British.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk about it. See?
Damn. A lot has happened, man. World history is deep, man.
But all of this is inclusive of what? Identity.
Okay.
With identity comes purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go with this right here. What do you think about this, Mo?
They're all Asiatics, though. See, we're out of context. We got to contextualize people, right? When we say Asiatic, that's a subdivision of the human race, of the human family. Asiatic and European. Got it, right? But they're divided into nations and tribes. So you can't mix oranges and apples. We're talking nations now, not a subdivision, not a broader subdivision of the human family.
Yeah, Brother Reef, you sound like the great pages of CM Bey when he said the war has always been against the Rosary Cross and the Islam, and that's what you that's all you see.
No. Listen,
that's what you hear when you
I'm
see.
glad you said that. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said it this way: we measure time in cycle ages and negate to every age redeem a milestone on the journey of the race. In other words, history is cyclical, meaning it's a pattern. When you can see the pattern, you know what's coming next.
Of course.
We are dealing with the Crusades still.
Exactly.
But if you know that era and that period and where you fall in it.
I'm trying to bring this home. I'm trying to bring this home. Morocco. Let's take it to Morocco.
Sure.
Now Morocco, Algiers, Tunis,
Tripoli,
etc. Now, the Prophet mentioned those areas.
He mentioned those political communities. He said they were kingdoms, not land masses. Again, context.
Now, what does etc. mean?
There were other kingdoms.
Mm-hmm.
There were other kingdoms.
That's crazy.
But here's the point, right? We're American citizens. Most of us. Why do you think they took civics out of compulsory education? So you wouldn't understand true Americanism. All right. So why did we say a part of core American values is your old world connection? Because it is. The whole ideal of America is one nation, e pluribus unum. One nation made up of people from different old world connections. So a prerequisite is that you have to be able to say what that old world connection is. That's it. Okay? It's just basic civics 101. Right? Now, why, pay attention, did the United States imprison American citizens of Japanese descent when Pearl Harbor got bombed? Why?
It would be a national threat, right?
But why would it be a national threat? I'm not disagreeing with you, but why would it be a national threat?
Because we're at war with their
Old world connection.
Yeah.
That means their old world connection has influence within America domestically.
Okay, I see where you're going with that.
Ah, see that?
Okay, so what influences does Morocco have on America throughout history, or did, or still to this day?
Our presence.
Oh, yeah. The contribution to the world, as Obama said,
Our
mathematics.
presence.
Was that 2007, right, Sharif? When Obama gave that speech, 2007 or 8, about
talked
Morocco?
About Islam playing a role in the founding of America. Mm-hmm.
Even in some buildings in Washington, they have
That's
some
fact.
Islamic law. There's some Islamic principles within American law.
Of course it is.
Many of it, but they just Christianize it. But it's Islamic.
Mm-hmm. And you say that was brought by the Moors.
Absolutely. Or influenced. Yes. Well,
I mean, I was trying to get you, man. I'm trying to stump you, bro. I'm like,
I love it because no, for real, because I'm learning. This thing is unfolding to me. I'm not no end all be all. I'm just a student. You see what I'm saying? And all right, I'm learning. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm learning, but go ahead.
Here's a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
You see it?
One quick question, Sharif. When was the first time the X in America was used to describe in a map the land encountered by Europeans, mainly Spaniards? Good question. I'm not 100% sure on that. I mean, I have a general idea, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm not sure of. Let's see. Dan did so. Here's the question I have for you. Right? What to you is the significance of the first time the name America was used? And I'm trying to understand the significance of the question. Okay. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're waiting for the brother to answer that. And I mean, at this point, man, I think we're kind of covered reparations.
Yeah, man.
Hold on one second.
I was very in depth, Reef.
Let me see.
I heard someone say the Moors rule 80% of Europe. Oh, absolutely. No, that's world history, my dear brother. Absolutely.
80% of Europe?
Somebody said a $2 bill. I got one right here. They keep talking about that.
Yeah, they're looking at. They're talking about the back and the
yeah. I kept this. Had this for a minute.
The one dark-skinned man on the back that was at the Continental Congress. That's on the back of the dollar bill. I know that was not the first president. Don't believe that.
Yeah.
But
80% of Europe. I mean, I would say Spain for sure. Now,
no, brother. Are you kidding? See, a lot of this stuff is David McCritchie's book. David McCritchie's book alone, Ancient and Modern Britons, Volume 1 and 2. Look it up. Look up the family history of the Medicis. Look up the Maximilians in Germany. Like what?
It's got a lot of vital information.
Can you direct me to a source?
I got you with I hit you with more than a few. More than a few. So just like there's The Moors in Spain by Stanley Lane Poole, which is a book. A book can easily be written about the Moors in Britain, the Moors in Germany, the Moors in France, the Moors in Portugal, easily.
So if I Google that, I'll find some stuff.
Do it. You can do it right now.
So I have a question for you, Reef.
Yes,
I know you mentioned it before. So a lot of what the Moors lost here, the Negroes when Moors became Negroes here, all took place in Carpenter's Hall. That's when
I wouldn't say all, but it did. A big part of it did take place in Carpenter's Hall. Right, October 14th, 1774. Right.
There's no way America could go back and try to ratify. Can the Moors?
Are you aware how in Latin America we teach what is America? We teach that America is not the United States. Okay, that's context. Not the United States, no one country, but the collection of 34 nations representing the OAS. Context, dear brother, context, okay? Yes, the term state, right, in the context of the international community is a nation. Yes, so like the OAS, the Organization of American States. Mexico is an American state. It's called Estados Unidos de Mexico. In other words, it's another United States. Yes, we get that, but you have to have proper context. Okay, so are we talking about a single nation? Are we talking about a landmass? Or are we talking about a series of land, North, Central, South America? What are we talking about? See, you have to properly contextualize conversations. So we get it, yeah. You know, America, what's the context? An American state is Peru. That's an American state. Canada is an American state, right? Now there's a nation or a nation state called the United States of America. Within it, there are 50 domestic states. See, context is king, people. Context is king.
Well, I don't know if you brothers have any more questions. We kind of cleared up some stuff on reparations. We totally understand your position as far as reparations are concerned.
It's an ongoing conversation. Like I said, this whole thing is unfolding. Literally, the bricks are being laid in front of us as we walk. But when those bricks are what? Our own understanding. Our understanding is unfolding. As long as we stay the course. As long as the objective and the intent is right. See, our intent is different. We're not chasing the bag. We know that the bag is a result of us doing the right things for ourselves, to ourselves, for the right reasons.
Indeed. On that note, thank y'all for tuning in.
Appreciate it.
Really
Thank you. My bad.
States are sovereign via the Declaration of Independence. I'm gonna just put this up
Put
there.
it up. I want to see it.
Oh, Lord Abba, peace.
Lord Abba's in the building.
Peace to Lord Abba. Peace. I can help clear up any questions. Reparations. Peace to the brother.
Peace.
Lord Abba about to spit a verse real quick. He about to drop a verse. Yo.
Listen, Naheem Way got bars.
I know, man.
Yeah, yo, he spit I think he spit a rhyme real quick. On that video we have there. I'm about to cut up a clip of that and throw that up because that joint was deep too. Hold on, let me see.
What does he think of the 101 saying you can't see Allah? Yo, can I address it? That's totally off topic, but I want to address it. A 10% teach you that you can't see Allah. Okay, let's talk about the self-creation of the first God in triple darkness. Let's go there. Did Allah create himself? Answer, yes or no?
People don't know.
Yeah, he self-created. So he created. Did he create his body? Did he create himself? According to that lesson. The self-creation of the first God. Y'all know the degree. Did he create himself? Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Right?
Okay.
What was he before he had a body? I'll wait.
Damn,
the mind.
The holy breath, as they call it, too.
Whatever you want to call it. Exactly. But did he have a body?
Wow.
He made for himself a body.
Yeah.
All right.
Comprised of the 4 elements.
Yeah.
That's
So
why you got the Lord Hayes bar here.
You're in a school of thought that talks about the mechanics. So you know. Yeah, you know. But you see my point? Okay.
Yeah.
If God began with the body, that means he's not eternal, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible. How about that?
It dies out. It's
that
finite.
He's not self-created either. See, self-created means he existed before the body. How about that?
I think this is a good question right here. Hold on a second. He said no answer.
You know what? With all this talking about Project 2025 and the end of the world, hurry up and take us to Planet Risk, man. I'm out.
Yo, check this out. And the states are sovereign via the Declaration of Independence.
And the states are sovereign via the Declaration of Independence. No. The states have a degree of sovereignty. A degree. All you got to do is look at the preamble of the Constitution of 1789. The preamble. We the people of the United States. What is that? The Union. In order to what? form a more perfect union, which means the union existed. What was the union? Each of the several states, the 13 at the time, give up a portion of their sovereignty for a central authority.
Mm-hmm.
Kings became governors. See?
You know what? I like this. What the brother just said right here.
America's named after Amerigo Vespucci, like
yeah.
Africa is named after Serpico Africanus. Khalid Muhammad ran this into the ground. Okay. All right. Like I said, like I had asked before, what is the significance of the point?
Okay, Lord, I was saying federalism. Okay.
What about federalism?
Lord Albert, what about federalism?
Oh, what he's punctuating what I just said.
Okay.
Yeah, he's punctuating what I just said. Agreed.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. The history is very deep, man. You see as you said, the cause and effect. You see the causes and the effects you see today. I can't want to go back and correct that.
Again, follow me. Again, a lot of what we covered today in terms of history and civics, they're lost on most of the population. They don't know these things.
They don't do the research, man. You gotta do the research. It's deep, man.
Yeah.
So, Brother Reef, how can the MST of A, like knowing all this history, go to like the U.S. government and reestablish that?
Hold on. Don't forget your question, brother. I want to address what Grandmaster Saif Supreme said. He said, yes, Allah is self-created. Okay, we can stop right there. But then he continues. We evolved from live triple dark subatomic particles of energy. Pause. Were they conscious? Were the particles or particle? Huh. Were these particles alive? Evolution from subatomic to atomic. Were they alive? Was that Allah?
You know what? I know where this is all going here. And I'm realizing it. I'm starting to realize it. I'm just trying to manage what's going on the chat.
This is going metaphysical right now. This is going to metaphysics.
This new toy that Mike just put me on to.
You like that? Pause.
The pause, boy.
You wild, bro. That's wild, bro. Run. You wild, bro. Whoa. That's wild. Come out. Whoa.
Hold on. Pause. That was wild right there.
That was wild, bro. Hey, my brother. Wow, bro.
But I just I'm up here managing the comments. I want to make sure the comments go on the screen, and then I'm notice what's happening. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, people just flying.
Today's discussion is about reparations. The God already put it down. We can talk about that other stuff another podcast. Yeah. Come on, man.
No, Reef.
Let's move on.
Reef, you got to come back on the metaphysical stuff. I think the people want that. They want the metaphysics, man. Yes, they want that.
Yeah, I had a good time yesterday.
Peace to everybody watching. Hold on. Oh man,
somebody's going to lessons with you.
We doing. Here we go. We talking about unity. Now the vibe is changing. Well, come on, man. They come with the questions. Let's keep it. Hold on. Yeah, watch it from the beginning. Well, watch it from the beginning, Lord Abba. Watch it from the beginning. Peace to everybody in the chat. I really appreciate y'all for coming on. I see the gods are in the building. Peace to gods, peace to the 5% nation, the gods of earth.
5% nation. I came out of that, and let me not say I came out of it. I was schooled there. I have a love for those teachings. I do, and I highly respect them.
It's a fact.
Peace to the Moors who are on the chat. Yeah. Peace to the freedmen in the chat. Yeah. Peace to everybody.
Hebrew Israelites.
Yes,
all you guys.
Everybody, see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Yo, we out.